be sharing with you my service learning, which is every help counts, where I would like to share with you more on how to help the needy families in your neighborhood by donating food and other necessities. So my service learning statement. So basically, it's called Hearts in Action, where people actually can assist by initiating food and monetary donations to everybody, or to certain food banks that they can actually use it for their only for their meaningful community engagement. I aim to address the basic needs that everybody needs, which is of course food, water, and sometimes shelter, and also necessities such as personal hygiene. So now moving on to my self-reflection and personal interest. Personally, since young, I've always been passionate in helping people, whether it be I can be the one in a million for someone, whether it be I can be the special one for someone to make a change in their life, or to make sure that they would like to participate to better their life as a person. And also, as a self-reflection part, I basically grew up being in the donation sector, where in primary school there were so many donation drugs that used to come by for clothes, for other stuff. And also there used to be so many times around where I grew up going to church and I had to go help in soup kitchens, making food for the needy, and then actually going to the charities and actually donating the food. So, of course there are risks and hazards when it comes to this type of things. Firstly being that some people may take our kindness for granted, so they might not appreciate certain things, or they might have a high standard to what they would actually like. Like for example, if we are serving like maybe fried rice, some of them will say, why is there no meat in this, why is the meat so low quality or whatnot. It's also really due to our budget. And also, some people may see our donations as a negative thing, because some people have ego and they would prefer if nobody helped them, they suffer in silence and whatnot. So that's one thing that we address as a risk. And also, thirdly is that volunteers actually unintentionally might like overstep some people's boundaries, whether it be their personal. Some people have like bad history or trauma, and the volunteers might actually accidentally dig into that trauma, which actually can be quite bad for people, because they might choose to never come back again to our donation drives or whatever. And lastly, some inexperienced volunteers can actually cause a lot of problems when it comes to how to handle the certain situations that may arise from people coming to collect food, coming to donate stuff actually. Okay, so now moving on to the community needs and partnership. So obviously from young, I think all of you have heard of MOE FAS, which is actually a method that MOE has done to actually provide for the needy families or low-income families in Singapore for their kids, whether it be when they're studying in school, to give them a tuition grant, or actually to provide them with, for example, when I was in St. Andrews, the people that I knew that were in FAS had a voucher for food in the canteen. And also there's a Beyond Social Services SG, which actually provides free education for all the students in Singapore if they do come from low-income families. And also, of course, the community needs. There are many people that we know that have financial struggles, and that actually I've seen quite countless amount of times, like companies, whenever I go play football, the community fridge there is always ransacked by the aunties. I'm pretty sure you all have seen on the news also. There was a case where all the aunties were lining up, just taking all the things for themselves and weren't actually sharing it. Where the main purpose of the community fridge is for everyone to enjoy and everyone to actually get a piece. And the last two is social exclusion and isolation, where some people will feel embarrassed to actually reach out for help because they feel like they don't deserve it, or they feel like they are just a burden to everyone else. And lastly, some people will avoid others because they think, oh, I earn much more than you, why should I talk to you, you earn so much less than me, which is very common in Singapore because money in Singapore is a high status. Now moving on to academic integration. For you here today, I've listed 5 classes that I partake in Republic Poly. First being critical thinking, workplace communication, experiential learning, author-based, and land-based. For critical thinking is that I've actually learned that on different ways to analyze certain situation and to find different ways to find the answers to these type of problems. And for my effective workplace communication, I've actually found a way to be able to communicate with others well, to get my ideas through and to actually get their ideas, so that we can always generate the better solution for all. And also for experiential learning is that it gives us the ability to adapt to different situations that we may not know that might come. So for example, for the first few weeks we had of school for experiential, we were doing something completely different than what we are doing now, which actually changed my mindset and my viewing point on how we take classes. And for water-based is that, of course, there are safety and regulations that we need to follow for these things. And lastly, for land-based is that it teaches us courage and leadership, so that we can actually reach out to people and have the courage to actually lend a helping hand to another person, whether they need it or not. So now for the project scope. Personally, I am quite a busy person. I do not have as much time as I would like to actually partake in this like I used to back when I was still participating in all these soup kitchens and donation drives when I was younger. So for me personally, I realized that people can actually participate in food donation drives, whether it be bi-weekly or based on their own time and own target. And also that you can also support in soup kitchens at like places called like the Willing Hearts, which is basically they want you to help prep the meals, to pack up the meals so that they can be sent to the homeless shelters, or they can send to different charities, or even sent to the some kitchens that they have. And also, they just really want you to just be able to help out, whether it be even the minimum, which is just washing the food, making sure that the food is clean for the less fortunate to be able to actually consume it. And for the feasibility is that I realized that all these things I've mentioned above for the project scope are only applicable for people who are currently still studying. It's not ideally for them like in RP. We have Thursdays, which is half days most of the time, and for most people, and also then Friday will be our weekend already. And for let's say other polytechnics, I heard they have the Wednesday off, so that means they can also use that day off to actually participate in such things. Now moving on to the methods of reflection. So I realized that we can actually use journaling using the Kobe's method to actually like choose and to study about how we actually reflect on the day itself. And then for survey is that we can actually start a survey to see what people actually want and what actually people, let's say some people have dietary restrictions, some people have some restrictions based on religion. For example, Muslim people cannot eat pork, for example, Indian people cannot eat beef, and also etc. Now moving on, this is my links and references for the AI usage and also referencing to the different places such as Food Bank XG, Food from the Heart, and Willing Hearts. I basically use the AI to actually generate my service learning statement, and I also use the AI to simplify and to give me better words to choose for my presentation. Thank you.